This video covers everything you missed in class today on Wednesday, January 12th in 7th grade math. The first thing you're going to want to do is head to the main folder and open up today's class kick. And you'll want to head straight to slide 3. We're going to start on slide 3, so meet me there. Okay, so on slide 3, we have 3 sets of addition equations. This question is asking us to translate those addition equations into subtraction equations. For example, we could rewrite equation A as 458 minus 247. Because the answer to that equation, when we subtract 458 minus 247, gives us 211. And if we were to replace C here with 211, 247 plus 211 is equal to 458. Go ahead and pause this video and answer questions B and C. Okay, so you'll be able to see whether your answers to B and C are correct based on whether the boxes light up. The important thing about this question is that the sum, 458, is what we are subtracting from. We subtract 247 from 458, and that tells us our missing number, which in this case is C. If we flipped the order of what we were subtracting, for example, if you had accidentally put 247 here, you would get a negative number, which would not be the correct value for C, because if you added a negative number to 247, you would not end up with 458. The key takeaway here is that the order that we subtract matters. Meet me on slide 4. On slide 4, 6.2, it says a mountaineer is changing elevations. Write an expression that represents the difference between the final elevation and beginning elevation. Then write the value of the change. The first one is done for you. So we can see that we're subtracting 900, which is the final elevation, minus the starting elevation, which is 400. We know that to get the change, we need to take away the beginning from the final. Notice that in the directions, it tells us to find the difference between the final and the beginning. Because final is listed first, we know that final is what we're taking away from. If it were flipped and it said the difference between beginning and final, we would be subtracting in the other direction. Now, I can see that in the next row of the table, I'm finding the difference between a final elevation of 50 and a beginning elevation of 400. So my subtraction sentence will look something like this: 50 minus 400. That gives me a change of negative 350. Notice how for these problems, the boxes light up in green when you have the answers correct. One thing to take note of is that when we're subtracting negative numbers, for example, 610 minus negative 200, you'll want these parentheses here when you're writing negative numbers, because it just makes it clear that you're subtracting a negative. I want you to go ahead and pause this video and complete 6.2. You can always check your work in the notes that are posted in today's folder. So pause this video and complete 6.2. You can check your notes in the PDF posted in today's Schoology folder. Okay, so at this point, you should have completed 6.2. Let's take a look at 6.3 on slide 5. On slide 5, you're simply looking to find the value of each subtraction expression. So 3 minus 2, for example, is 1. Please go ahead and pause this video and try 6.3. You should have given these questions a try on your own. Let's take a look. 5 minus negative 9 is equal to positive 14. Here's why. If I start at positive 5 and I'm taking away negative 9, when I take away a negative, I'm really moving in the positive direction by 9 spaces. And so I end up with a final answer of 14. In contrast, let's take a look at the similar expression in B, when I have negative 9 minus 5. The equation has flipped. In the first table, I'm finding the difference of 5 and negative 9. But in this table, I'm finding the difference of negative 9 and 5. Notice that when I start with negative 9 and I take away 5, I'm moving left and I end up at negative 14. The answer is similar, but not the same as in the other row of the table. When we flip the order of our subtraction, the difference are opposites. I forgot my negative symbol. This should be negative 14. This is important to note because the order of our subtraction matters. If I ask you for the difference of 5 and negative 9, I'm looking for this sentence here. But if I ask you for the difference of negative 9 and 5, I'm looking for this sentence here. Please make sure that you have all of the questions completed on slide 5. Slide 5 is the last slide I'm expecting you to do in ClassKick. To make up today's classwork, the other things you need to do are in the Schoology folder. You need to complete the 5.6 exit ticket and the 5.6 homework. If you have questions about anything in this video or any of these assignments, please make sure you send me an email.